Flosstube, welcome back. I am Erin, the Two Martini Stitcher, both here on YouTube and on Instagram, and I am a day late. It is Monday, July 20th, and so for those of you who are regular viewers, welcome back. Thank you for coming back for another cross-stitch happy hour with me. And if you're new here, I typically record on Sundays. But I didn't this week because, I don't know, it was a crazy busy weekend and it literally just slipped my mind. By the time we got back, by the time everything was said and done on Sunday evening, we had dinner and crashed, and I kind of just totally forgot about filming Flosstube. So what was going on this weekend? Well, first off, it was Velosano weekend. So for those of you who have been hanging out with me a while, you know that I was part of the, still am, part of the Velo Stitchers team, raising money for the Cleveland Clinic to help cure cancer, to help FFO cancer. And the big event was this weekend. It would typically have been a 100-mile bike ride. It was all virtual this year, and a bunch of us stitchers decided that we were going to stitch 100 hours. So the big virtual event was this weekend. So we had a Zoom stitching meetup on Saturday morning. That was really, really fun. And there were other kind of big kickoff events and things going on over the weekend. And I did want to give you guys, as part of a little housekeeping, an update on where the fundraising is. You guys came through for me. Thank you so much to everybody who has donated so far. I went over my $1,000 goal and I'm sitting at about $1,200 right now personally, and our team is within striking distance of our $10,000 goal. When I checked earlier today, we were at like 9,200. And there's still a couple, at least one, maybe 2 weeks left of auctions that Michelle Garrett, Bendy Stitchy, will be doing in support of Velosano. I don't know if she'll do, I know this week there will be auctions up. I don't know about the next week because it ends on a Friday. So she may or may not do, the month ends on Friday. So she may or may not do auctions that week. But I just want to say thank you guys to everybody who has really, this community has done an amazing job pulling together and raising money for this awesome, awesome cause. So thank you. Cheers to you. We just had dinner here, and I made a family favorite, which is pasta with bacon, tomatoes, and cheese. Because, hello, the name says it all, right? But you need a little white wine for the kind of sauce. So having a little white wine since we had it open. So that's tonight's happy hour beverage. The other big thing that was going on this weekend was my two dancing daughters had their showcase. It's what we call recital. This weekend, it definitely looked very, very different. It had gotten pushed back by a couple weeks. They ended up being very, very small groups, kind of inside a studio with the garage door open and one parent socially distanced watching outside, and live streamed as well. So because it was very small groups, the classes had to be split up. The times were kind of all here and there. So we were back and forth to the studio all weekend with the two girls doing the showcase thing. It was amazing to watch their teachers and directors and studio owners have done the most incredible job of really making this happen. And the kids have done an incredible job and been very resilient, taking all their classes over Zoom. And it was really great to get them, get a chance to watch them dance again. I really miss watching them dance, and I was very, very proud of them. It was also Abby, my middle daughter's first year as a teacher at the studio. So she has definitely learned a lot. It was not what she thought her first year teaching was going to look like. She teaches little like 5-6-year-olds pre-dancers, and it was pretty special. At the end, if I remember, I'll tell a little story. I won't bore everybody, but if you want to stick around at the end, I will tell a little story about why this showcase was particularly special and maybe pop in some pictures. We'll see. Okay. So that's why things have been crazy busy around here, and it slipped my mind to record Flosstube yesterday. So I did have a chance to look through all the comments though and respond and give them a like. The only other thing I think housekeeping wise I have is Michelle Garrett, Bendy Stitchy, I'll link her channel below, has declared this coming weekend International Flosstube FFO weekend. Yay! I'm here for it. I have finishes that need FFO'd. So if you have stuff that needs to be FFO'd, this is the weekend. Let's all pull it out, do some finishing together. Hopefully it's going to be another kind of crazy busy week around here. But hopefully I can get some stuff out and pull it out. I'll put the hashtag below. It's very long. I think it's hashtag International Flosstube FFO. Might even have weekend on it. I'll put the hashtag below. But I'm going to try to get at least 1 or 2 things FFO'd. So join us if you have some stuff to finish as well. One of the things I'm hoping to get to is a finish that I had this week that I would love to FFO. So let's get to stitching. First, I'm going to show my WIPs, works in progress. I will start with, like I always do, full coverage. Harry Potter book covers is what I've been working on. For Bellosano, I committed 100 hours to this project. I have just shy of 20 hours left to do by the end of the month. I had hoped to have it done in time for this past weekend for the big event. It didn't happen. We're fundraising all the way through the end of the month, so it will get done. I am a bit of a procrastinator and tend to work better under a hard deadline anyway. So I still have like 10 days, probably more, 10 or 11 days. It's the 20th, right? Yeah. To get 20 hours in, I'll get them. But you guys want to see where I got to this week? I am loving this like checkerboard, this diamond pattern at the bottom is coming in so awesome and is so fun to stitch. It's a little confetti-ish, but that's okay. I stupidly, when I put this back in the Q-snap, didn't put it in where I could have. I don't know what I was thinking, so I'm gonna have to take it out of the Q-snap and readjust. But that is the bottom of the page right there, or the bottom of the book. So I'm gonna push to get it done this month, even if it takes a little more than 20 hours, because I do want to do Arbitrary August next month, and I think this is gonna get put away. So I would love to put it away with the book finished. So there's where I got to. It's looking amazing. This is Harry Potter book covers by Fox and Teacup Design. I am stitching it on 18 count pre-gridded Aida with 2 strands of all the called for DMC. So there we go. So that's a Harry Potter book covers. So what else did I work on this week? Well, last Sunday, we're throwing it back a little over a week. It was the 13th, 12th, it was the 12th. And on the 12th of each month, although probably not next month for Arbitrary August, I work on Crosses of the Kingdom. And I worked this into Enchanted Stitching. Nope, I didn't. I lied. Because Enchanted Stitching didn't start till Monday. Did it work into the last week's? Nope. Nope, I just worked on this because it was the 12th. And I know because I didn't count. I had thought about it for a second. I worked on, since I wasn't using it for anything, I worked on this swirly Krynic back stitch, which is just a pain to count. You like my hair? It is nuts today, guys. Look how frizzy it is. I should have put it up, but I didn't. I just showered and let it air dry. So you guys are really seeing the au naturel today. I've been watching Bet Needles on Instagram and Flosstube. I'll link her below. She's been doing this whole curly girl method thing with her hair, and I gotta look into that more because I either need to embrace the curl. I need to embrace the curl because when I don't have time to flat iron my hair, it's a little nutty. Anyway, back to stitching. So I finished this whole middle of the Krynic back stitching and then did this. I didn't work on it a whole lot that Sunday, but I did want to get it out and get some more in it. So there we go. So this is Crosses of the Kingdom. This is what it'll look like finished by Rosewood Manor. This is going to be a 50th anniversary gift for my parents. So, which I have like 2 more years. But I wanted to get going on it because, you know, look, it's a big pattern. You guys know I'm not so much with focusing on something and finishing it. So I figured I'd chip away at it little by little over the next couple years. So that's Crosses of the Kingdom. Then Monday was the 13th. And so for Dark 13 stitching, I of course pulled out Tingles, and I did work this into Enchanted Stitching for last week. I used this for something you needed to wrap your head around because I said this is the like freebie pattern from Lizzie Kate that shows you how to put them all together. But sometimes it takes me a bit to figure out where I need to start the next pattern to make everything line up correctly. So far it is, but you know, this month I tend to do these 1 block a month, but I'm hoping to maybe speed that up here and finish it up in the next month or so. So I did Fright Night this month, and of course I started and finished it. This one was a pretty quick one, so I just powered through it, and there we go. Fright Night. There's a little bit of free border pattern that goes here, and then there's just 2 more left at the bottom. So all I have is Spooky and Gone Haunting. These 2 at the bottom. But I need to do this little bit of border. So there we go. I had originally, this is on 14 count Aida and Prank by Picture This Plus. And I'm using the listed DMC conversion, except for I kept Sweet Potato and Guacamole. But the rest is just the listed DMC. And originally I had stitched this mouse in the wrong color because the symbols are pretty close. They're just a triangle, but 1 point's up and 1 point's down. But it was in this like red brick color. Then I was like, that mouse looks weird being red. Oh no, he's supposed to be brown. It wasn't that much stitching though, so I just pulled it out and redid it. So there we go. So I think I have Tingles slated for something this week too. Do I? I do. A WIP with a tombstone or graveyard. See tombstone. So, because I think doing Arbitrary August next month, I would like to maybe just finish this up this month, which kind of derails some other plans, but I'm in the mood. I'm in the mood to finish things, guys. I've kitted a couple other things that I kind of want to start, but I'm really feeling like just finishing up things. So I've been having fun kitting things up, and I think, oh, I'm going to start that right away, and I haven't been. I just haven't been because I'm in a finishing mood. So that's Tingles, and I'm kind of in the mood to just bust out that last little bit of border and the last 2 charts and see if I can get it done before Arbitrary August, along with 20 hours on Harry Potter. How are we feeling about that? We'll see. Okay. I also worked on, that's just empty. I also worked on, for Alphabet Soup, which finished up N for Alphabet Soup in Semi-Sane Stitchers. It's a challenge in Semi-Sane Stitchers. I will link the group below, although I think that they might be, at the moment, closed to new people. Don't quote me on that. I don't know if that's true. but that might be the case. But they're doing an alphabet soup that I've done since the beginning of the year, where you stitch on a project and the letter changes every 2 weeks. My hair is going to drive me nuts all evening. It's going to drive you nuts too. Welcome. We're on N. So I was working on Needles Dance. So I needed to get some work on that before last Tuesday. So I spent a day, ching, cheers, working on Needles Dance. And this is where I got to on Needles Dance. So I had a little bit of border. This was a Mania start. Don't know what day of Mania I started it. I could look, but we don't care that much, do we? I had done a little bit of border, and the Night F was what I had for Mania when I started Mania. So I finished Forest Wakes as the needles, and I brought the coral border around and extended this other one. So I felt like that was some good progress on that. For Alphabet Soup, this is on 32 count Summer Breeze, I believe, by Hand Dyed by Stephanie. Find the tag. It's in here, I promise. It's just in between stuff. Yes, Summer Breeze, 32 count Belfast in Summer Breeze by Hand Dyed by Stephanie, which isn't the called for, but it's a close, pretty blue, and I'm using all the called for flosses. So that's Needles Dance. All right. So let's see, what else did I work on? I put these all in here in order. Okay, the rest, I think, of what I worked on mostly was the 4 things that I have going for Uno in Semi-Sane Stitchers. And so I'll just show you those 4. My first Uno WIP is Harry Potter book covers. My second Uno WIP is, I finished. Should I just show the finish now? Let's just show it. Why not? Why not? So this is WIP number 2 I had for Uno, and with some Uno calls and just wanting to put a thread a day in it, I finished Love My Stitching. Yay! Look at that, it's all done. So this is Love My Stitching by Hands On Design, and it's meant to be made into a project bag. So it was a collaboration with So Much to Love, which is the style bag. You guys know I love the So Much to Love bag. So it'll be the front, and then there's all the instructions to make the bag. So I'm really hoping I can get my sewing machine down and work on this for International Flosstube FFO weekend. So there we go. Finished. All done. I'm so excited. And this was a $17 credit in Stitch from Stash. And I am still rocking Stitch from Stash. I'm pretty proud of myself, not gonna lie. I did make one bigger purchase, but between the finishes I've had, I'm still in the black from Stitch from Stash. So I stitched this on 14 count white Aida because it calls for 14 or 28 to be the right size. And then you could kind of pick whatever colors you wanted. Where's the little, there it is. I had all the stuff for it in this little Bitsy Bob. I love these Bitsy Bobs. See, and I need to like clean it up and take it out. See it holds your floss and your scissors like, But I need to put all this stuff away now so I can put the Bitsy Bob on something else. So I use DMC 413, 906, and 3848. So those were my colors. Plus I had pulled some random pink at some point. I don't know what color it is, for the little heart. Because I just decided a green heart wasn't right. So I pulled a pink to do the heart for Love My Stitching. So there we go. One more look at my finish. Yay! And I think I had started this in August or September of last year. So it wasn't quite a year old, and I'm so excited to make this into a project bag. We'll see. I hope I can do it. Now I'm terrified about ruining it. So that was my number 2 WIP. So I had to pick a different, I had to sub something else in. And I picked another project that I feel like if I really focus on it a little bit with Uno and maybe putting a strand a day in, I could finish up here real soon, and that's Suffrage Act. And I decided that the anniversary of the ratification of the 19th Amendment is the 19th, August 19th. It's August, it's next month, and I'm almost 100% sure it's the 19th. So I thought, I'd originally started this is part of a stitch along with Stitching with the Sisterlies. I'll put the hashtag below, and we started it at the first of the year with the goal to finish before Election Day. This is a great stitch. You could totally still join and have this stitched by Election Day. But now that I feel kind of close, you guys are gonna look at it and be like, you're not that close, but I feel kind of close. I think maybe I can get this done by the 19th for the ratification, the anniversary of the ratification. So here's where I am. I've only worked on it once since I subbed it in, and I got 100 stitches in on the white dress, so it doesn't really look like I did much of anything, but here I am. So you can see I got like 3 or 4.5 more lines of white dress done. But I feel like once I get going, like I need to finish up the bunting and do the little pot and her flag, and then I'm gonna rejigger this a little bit so it has both 1920 and 2020 on it. But I really feel like it gets a little more sparse stitching over here. So I feel like I could finish this up. So I subbed this one in. So there I am on Suffrage Act. And this is on a 32-ish, I'm pretty sure it's 32, count mystery linen from Color and Cotton. I got it in a grab bag at the end of last year. I think it might be white tea. And I'm using all the called for colors. So that's Suffrage Act. And you'll be seeing more of that because that's been subbed into my Uno whips. And am I using it this week for anything? So just when it gets spun on Uno, that'll get some work. Maybe I'll try to put a length of thread a day in it. My number 3 whip on my Uno board is getting super close to a finish, guys. I used this for a couple of tasks last week. I used it for something that I'm racing to finish because this was called on my WIP Go board this month as a finish, so I'd like to finish it by this month. And also food I would preserve. And that, of course, is arranging vegetables. I've been working on this pretty steadily this month. So this is arranging vegetables by ink circles. And I'm super close, guys. Wait till you see. I think this will be a finish next week. Here's where I am on it. All the vegetables are stitched. I'm now just coloring in, and I feel like that's gonna go pretty quick. So now I'm just doing the coloring in part, so I think this will be also a finish next week. This coming week, isn't that exciting? So there I am on arranging vegetables. I'm stitching this on a 28 count Irish linen in the color tea dyed. I didn't tea dye it, it came that way. It was one of those things that came in like a plastic tube from a big box store. So it's actually really see-through-y. I have it doubled up, but you can see it's kind of loose and see-through-y. But I thought it looked good for like a kitchen stitch. And I have enough to do another one of these arranging patterns over here. So I think when I'm done with this, I really want to get arranging the kitchen aids and do it on this as well, and maybe hang them together in my kitchen. So there we go, arranging vegetables by ink circles. And I'm doing this with all the called for colors except the orange was called for carrot. I thought I had bought it when I got the pattern. I apparently didn't have it. So I subbed in Fragrant Clothes by Gentle Arts, and I think it looks fantastic. So, but other than that one sub, it's all the called for colors. So that's arranging vegetables. And then my 4th whip on my Uno is Heartstring Sampleries Advent Candle Ornaments. And this was like kind of my Jolly July. This is what I've been doing for Jolly July. I started Sing a Sampler on the 1st for my high tea start, but my goal was to finish, I'm doing the 4 joy, peace, love, and hope for my parents for Christmas gifts. And my goal was to do one a week and have them all done in July for Jolly July. So I'm stitching this on a 40 count, and this was like my first really true 40 count project. Oh, hold on, I've got it all rolled up and magneted together with my needle minder. Hold on just a moment. There we go. I'm doing this on 40 count linen in platinum. And when I showed you last week, I had the hope ornament done. And this week I got peace done. So there's hope and there's peace. And then today I started joy. So these, I mean, seriously, these are such sweet, fast stitches. It's charted in all Glorianas, and I subbed out with stuff that I had on hand in overdyed cottons. So I am using, for the leaves, which I think we've talked about in the past, they're charted in 2 colors, but I'm just using WIP Info Blue Spruce because it's variegated so nicely. I don't know that you can quite see it there, but you can definitely see in the leaves like how nicely variegated it is, that I didn't think it needed 2 colors. So I'm using Blue Spruce, Turkish Red. The words are Gentle Art Sable, my ratty threads. The little bit of yellow in the candles is Honeycomb, and then these are the pink and the purple I'm using for the candles, for the Advent candles. These are such sweet fast stitches, guys. But they are $5 finishes for Stitch from Stash, so rock on. One of the reasons I'm doing so well, I finished the Tingles block. That was $5. These were each $5. I finished something else earlier this month. Oh, Personal is Political, and now Love My Stitching. Told you guys, I'm feeling the finishing things up right now. Maybe it's because I had all those starts in Mania, but I mean, maybe I'll start starting things again. But I think I'll have one start in August, but otherwise I think I'm gonna just do WIPs for arbitrary August. As long as I'm feeling it, I'm gonna go with it. So the last thing I worked on was on Saturday the 18th. On the 18th of each month, I try to work on Stars Bright because this is my anniversary piece. I started it on our anniversary in April. Our anniversary is on the 18th, so I try to get this out and stitch on it on the 18th of every month. So this is Stars Bright by Lindy Stitches. The genius Stephanie Webb. And here's where I got to. I'm stitching this on 36 count Frozen Fractals by Hand Dyed by Stephanie. And I'm stitching it with 1 thread of the called for color. So here we go. This is where I got to. I didn't get a ton of work on this. As I said, it was a really busy weekend, but I filled in, I already had the white outline done, and I filled in this granny square, and I started filling in this one. But I already had the white borders done. So, but it was enough for, I think, did I use it for, oh, I used it for an extra credit. And I think I needed 250 or 300 stitches. So that's what I put into it. So there's where it is. And this is looking very, like right there. That's very true to how the fabric looks. It's a light minty blue, bluish, purplish, greenish mint. It's beautiful. I said I'm doing called for colors. I did, with the exception of a couple of Weeks Dye Works that I subbed for similar classic color works. And I'll have all that information on what flosses it is below. So that's it. That's what I worked on this week, guys. That is WIPs and a finish. And I feel like I'm having a pretty good stitching month, but I really, really need to get back, not back to, because I've been working on Harry Potter book covers, but I really got to put the pedal to the metal this next couple weeks on Harry Potter book covers. So plans for this coming week. Let me see. I'm going to be doing enchanted stitching tasks. The first half of the week, I don't really have anything that's like slotted into my regular stitching calendar. Thursday is the 23rd, and I typically stitch on Letters for Mom. The things I have slotted for Enchanted Stitching. I have one task is Advent Ornaments, because I want to get that done. I have one task for arranging vegetables, and I'd love to finish that. One task for Tingles, because I want to get back to that, and I feel like if I finish arranging vegetables, I'm going to slot that into that Uno spot. And then one task I have for Duke Clover, because on the 24th I'll work on Duke Clover, which was my birthday start this year. And then Saturday is Mary 25 stitching, and so I am going to be working on Holiday Quaker for Mary 25 stitching this month. It had its birthday at the beginning of the month on the 3rd, and I was working on Suffrage Act, and I didn't get to it, so I am working on it, not on its birthday, but in its birthday month for Mary 25. Pardon me. So Holiday Quaker. I have a lot of stitching to do this week, guys, and it's going to be kind of a busy week again. Wish me luck. Wish me luck. A lot to do. Okay, so that's plans. I feel like I'm whipping through things this week. I don't know why. Because now we're at a haul, and I have hardly any haul. Told you guys, stitch from stash. I have hardly any haul. So I was going to show you a few like stitchy adjacent things that came in the mail this week. First off is, and I wasn't going to wear it, but is this amazing t-shirt. Guys, check it out. Raise some heck. But like I probably wouldn't have normally shown this, except that Michelle, Minnie Stitchy, was wearing hers and showed it off in her Flosstube. Okay. And then, like, I don't have to do everything that Michelle does, although, I mean, why not? But then I was watching Abby Topknot Stitcher today while I was cooking dinner, and she was like, I'm twinning with Michelle because I'm wearing my Tyler Thrasher t-shirt. Mine finally came in this week too, so we're tripleting. I'm like, well, if they're both gonna wear it, apparently it's a trend this week. This week we wear Tyler Thrasher, raise some heck, and I also had to show what it's on my t-shirt for Robin, Lady Robin's, because she always wants to see what everybody's t-shirt says. So raise some heck. So if you guys aren't familiar with Tyler Thrasher, I'll link his Instagram below. He's a super cool dude. I've been following him for a while. He does some really cool art, and he did these t-shirts as a fundraiser. I follow him because he's a science dude, and I love science. For those who, I think I've mentioned it before, but in case you haven't caught it or don't remember, because why would you? This is not pertinent. My degree is in cell and molecular biology, so I'm kind of a science geek. Not kind of, I am a science geek. And my concentration was in genetics. And Tyler Thrasher does some like awesome, like he does this very cool propagation with plants, and he's looking at like genetic variations of albino plants. Super cool. Anyhow, super cool. Trust me, he also does some amazing stuff with like encasing butterflies and stuff in crystals. He's a science dude and an artist. He's so cool. So the t-shirt was raising money for some Black Lives Matter charities, as well as some money for him to put together science kits for kids in underserved schools in his community. Sold. Science kits for kids? Yes, I'm in, and let's raise some heck. So my Tyler Thrasher t-shirt came in this week, and apparently it's Wear Your Tyler Thrasher t-shirt week on Flosstube. So if you haven't given him a follow yet, I will link him below. Other stitchy adjacent things. Well, I'll show you my other, I do have like 2 stitchy things that came in or I purchased. The first, oh no, I have 3. Where's my other? I'll show it next week because I don't think there'll be much next week. I purchased a pattern and kitted it up, which I think is why it's downstairs. I purchased a pattern from SiC Little Covers. It's floral and it says, "Please scream inside your heart," which, if you haven't heard, is the motto for 2020 this year. So if you're not familiar with the story, some amusement parks in Japan opened, but they don't want you screaming on the roller coasters because aerosolized, droplets, some respiratory droplets will come out and potentially spread COVID if you're screaming. So they were advising people to scream inside your heart on the roller coasters, which just says everything we need to know about 2020. And I'm pretty sure we've all been screaming inside our heart. So I will show that pattern by SiC Little Covers next week, and I have it all kitted up. That was one of the things that I thought I was going to start like that, and I really want to stitch it, and I clearly have it all kitted, but I haven't. Also in the theme of cross stitches for 2020, I didn't purchase this, but it's a freebie this month from Spruce Craft Co. They're an Australia design company, and if you subscribe to their newsletter, I'll link their website below, where I'm sure there's a place to subscribe to the newsletter. They do a free pattern every month. So in the newsletter, it shows you what it is and gives you the coupon code to go get it for free. And this month's is so perfect. It says, "Let's all cross stitch until 2020 is over." Yep, and look how awesome. Like, these are the best, like, DMC floss skeins I've ever seen charted. Like, they nailed the label, right? So this is a freebie pattern. I'm definitely going to kit that up ASAP and get that stitched so it can go on my wall. Because yes, let's all cross stitch until 2020 is over. And then the last piece of stitchy mail I got was my Be Stitch Me fabric of the month. I get a 32 count linen, and I get the neutral club. So if you haven't gotten yours yet, look away. Here's your warning. If you don't want any spoilers, although I've seen a lot of people get it. I think this took a little while to get to me. But here it is. It doesn't have a name, so I just wrote July Fabric of the Month on the tag, but it is perfection. Look at that. I mean, this is the neutral colorway, but it is like, you're seeing that correctly. It's like a light lilac. And this, I think, is going to be my fabric for Huckleberry Farm. I have another Aida from her that's like a dusky lilac that I kind of had in with. It's an 18 count Aida, and I was really kind of wanting to do Huckleberry Farm on an 1836. This is a 32, but I think it might have to be the fabric for Huckleberry Farm. Or the other thought is Night Walk Down. I think this would be awesome for Night Walk Down. So once again, Brandy hits it out of the park. Her fabrics are Be Stitch Me. She sells in a Facebook group and a website. I'll link them both below. Thank you, Brandy. They're gorgeous. So good. So good. I love it. So that's it that I have for stitchy mail, but I figured I should show this since Michelle mentioned it in her Flosstube. I've been talked into knitting. Not talked into. I've wanted to learn to knit for a while. And then when you watch like Michelle do all of her fun knitting projects and she makes it look so fun and easy, I think, yeah, I could do it. And I say I want to learn to knit, except that I did learn to knit maybe like 10 years ago. My mother-in-law taught me. I knit one scarf and never touched knitting again. However, I couldn't resist this Empower People bandana knit pattern. I printed it in black and white. It's supposed to be purple. I will link it below. I was sucked in because there's a pattern to do a bandana for either knitting, crocheting, or sewing. So if you do any of those things, you can make one. I could certainly sew one, but this seemed like a really good excuse to try to knit. And they went to empower people to vote and make their voice heard. So you know that I was sucked in. And they say, you know, like, wear your purple bandana while you're protesting or voting or, you know, whatever it is you're going to be doing to empower people. So I wanted to knit one so I could wear while I'm phone banking and hopefully if we can eventually canvas. And so I will link it below where you can get the pattern. It's by Casapinka. If you guys are knitters, you probably know her. So I went out and bought myself some yarn. Oh, I should have brought the thing up. See, I'm really bad at this knitting. This is from Three Fates yarn. Isn't it gorgeous? It's so pretty. They are, it's hand dyed. They're in Portland. This is a DK weight. I know that because that's what it called for. It's a DK weight, and I think the color is Mosey. I will link it below. It is gorgeous. It came faster than I thought. And getting this from the hank into this ball was a bit of a disaster. This is why I can't have these things. Michelle mentioned on her Flosstube that I got into a kitten tangle. That was a very nice way of putting it. I don't know what happened. I mean, I do know what happened was that, you know, it said you put it over a chair. I watched YouTube videos on how to, you know, ball your yarn, and I put it over the chair and it was coming off kind of wonky and was starting to tangle up. And I thought in my head, I can take this hank off the chair, fix it, and put it back. It went a little sideways on me. So literally like 3 hours later, I have a ball. Yay! Why is yarn not sold in the way in which you knit it? I need answers. So I have a ball. If I ever do another knitting project, I promise I will buy whatever that spinny thing is, a Swift. Is that what it's called? A Swift? That somehow magically balls it for you? But I have a ball. So this was Saturday. Saturday? Friday? I don't know. It was literally hours. I almost cried. There was some cursing and a large beverage. It must have been Friday because Michelle mentioned it in her Saturday Flosstube. Because apparently it inspired her to get her knitting out. So I'm glad my disaster inspired someone. Maybe it will inspire you to learn to knit with me. Okay. So the yarn came actually like pretty quick, like a week ago. I thought I had more time. Now I'm worried that I knit it too tight. It'll be fine. So then I ordered needles. The size of needles it said. So now I have needles. Now I have yarn. Maybe also this week I will attempt to cast on. Wish me luck, knitting people. I call that stitchy adjacent because a lot of stitchy people are multi-craftual. I admire all the multi-craftual people. We'll see if this thing actually happens. I don't know. I give it maybe a 40% chance. I'm going 40-60 that I actually get this sucker knit. I don't understand the pattern. I've read it. There will be much more YouTube tutorial watching in my future. So we'll see. So that's it. That's all I have for you guys today, other than giveaway. How annoyed are you guys with watching me play with my hair? I'm annoyed too. It is what it is. It's just been that kind of week. It's going to be another nutty week around here. And you know, it's just summer. It's just summer. All right, giveaways. So last week I was giving away this sweet little cardinal winter pattern. And I asked you to tell me that you wanted to stitch the cardinal. I did the YouTube random comment picker, and the winner is Donna Schlegel. Donna Schlegel, you won. So My email and Instagram are below, so either message me or send me an email with your address and I will get this out in the mail to you. Congratulations, Donna! I've been doing Christmassy, wintry things all month for Jolly July, and so I love a theme. I'm gonna keep with a theme. And so I was going through my stuff and I came across this book, and it's a pretty good book, guys. But I don't think with the amount of stuff I have to stitch, I don't think I'm gonna stitch anything from it. So I'm gonna give this book away. It is the Better Homes and Gardens Christmas Cross Stitch. It's an older book for sure, but there's lots of stuff in here. Yeah, copyright 1987. However, I'm gonna show you guys a few things that I think are cool projects in here. So they have a couple sections. The first one is this Christmas plaids. Look at that star. Just all of the plaids. I mean, look at all the little motif. So like those alone, little ornaments, I think are cool with all the plaids. And then they show, you could do them as a runner. Or you can pull the little motifs out and they have them as a pillow. So these would make awesome little ornaments. They also had some little snowflakes that I thought were cool. Those are pretty fun. So that was all in the country plaids section. And then the next one had, this is where you're like, ooh, look at that, 80s, like laser cut mats. But the little church scene is so sweet. I wouldn't mat it like that nowadays, but that's a sweet little church scene, winter church scene. And then this I thought was super cool. Look at that. Like for a monochromatic, you could do like these little individual blocks as ornaments. So there are some good projects in here. I'm pretty sure I picked this up at our local thrift shop. Look at those snowflakes done on perforated paper. That's pretty cool if you're gonna do little ornaments for teachers or coworkers or something. So that's pretty good. And then this one I thought was super cool. Look at the little manger stand-up scene. See, there's some good stuff in here. This I loved too. Once again, we do the die cut mat, but look at that holly wreath, or they have it as a stocking. That's so pretty. Now I'm getting sad that I'm giving this book away. No, I'm not. I have too much stuff to stitch. This was really cool too. This little sampler, this little Christmas sampler. Really fun. Peace on Earth, Goodwill Towards Men. Yeah. And then they show it like as stockings as well. So this is the book I'm giving away. Better Homes and Gardens Christmas Cross Stitch. So if you would like this, just tell me I would like the book. So don't say giveaway. Please be 18 so that you can give me your address. I would love it if you were a subscriber. But that's the giveaway for this week, is this Better Homes and Gardens Christmas Cross Stitch book. For Jolly July. It's almost over. We really have almost 2 full weeks, but it feels almost over, and I have some big plans to still finish up in July. We'll see. Anyhow, thank you guys for coming back with me again this week. Sorry I was a day late. Just barely how it goes sometimes. And I will see you. Get in for the book, because I will pull the winner next Sunday. Hopefully I should be recording again next Sunday. And until then, I hope you guys have a great week, and I'll see you then. Cheers.